Today I want to talk about something that has been on my heart for quite some time. I want to tell you my true feelings, which you may or may not agree with. I want to tell you my opinion on the deleterious relationships that we see so rampant on YouTube. And what I mean by this is that on YouTube, I'm sure that you could name quite a few people who have publicly displayed their relationships here on YouTube. They may both be YouTubers. One may be a YouTuber, the other one may not be a YouTuber, but she has a social media presence on Twitter or whatever, Instagram, whatever it be. But there's a huge phenomenon on YouTube of couples who publicize their relationships. And while I don't believe it's inherently wrong to do this, about, I would say, 90% of the people who do publicize their relationships typically always end up breaking up. Now, breaking up is a common thing within relationships, but I think the fundamental problem with the people who do this on YouTube is the fact that it really is unhealthy. And, it's not my position to interject into people's lives, and I wouldn't do that. If people want to publicize their relationships, they can. I'm not going to tell them what they can and cannot do, but I do have I want to share my opinion strongly on why I'm against this. Number one, it's toxic. It's damaging. I believe that if you're in a relationship with somebody, that relationship should be, for the most part, semi-private between those two people. You can say, hey, I'm dating this person on YouTube, but I wouldn't publicize personal details about arguments that you guys may have, things that otherwise should be known as private information between the couple. And I see this a lot. I see couples argue with one another over Twitter when they both have a public media presence. I think one of the greatest examples of this, and I have to call upon Onision, is Onision and his wife Lainey. It blows my mind at how toxic it is for Onision and his wife Lainey to argue and fight over goddamn Twitter. And they're in the same goddamn house. So if that puts it in perspective, rather than talking with one another privately, you resort to lashing out at each other over fucking social media. And it just, I facepalm all the time when people do this. And what's even worse is that when couples or wives or whoever have publicized their relationship, personal details about their relationship on the internet with their social media influences and that they have and social media, is typically it backfires. And what I mean by this is that you have an audience of either or, maybe one just has an audience, maybe the other one just has an Instagram. And the relationship breaks up. The person makes a breakup video, which, by the way, great way to get hundreds of thousands of views, by the way. Just publicize that you broke up with somebody and you're guaranteed to get probably over 200,000 views, guaranteed. Just for some reason, people on YouTube love to be invested in the lives of people's relationships. So when someone breaks up, they got to know all the little juicy details. People like that sort of shit, which is unfortunate, but that's how YouTube that's how YouTube works. But anyway, they break up. They both make a YouTube video announcing why they broke up. And then you have an audience. It doesn't matter if somebody cheated on somebody. It doesn't matter if somebody hurt somebody else. You could have a perfectly mutual breakup with somebody where the both parties mutually agreed it's best to break up, and guess what happens? Well, now that you publicized it to the internet, now you're going to have an audience of fans of you go over to the other person's social media and Instagram and call them sluts, whores, you're fucking stupid, why did you break up with him, you're a terrible person, blah, 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 blah. And then you're going to have people on the other the other individuals' social media. Basically, if any of them have a social media presence, the audience gets split into two sides and they clash and they fight, thus making the relationship breakup even worse, even if it was a good relationship breakup, because people start commenting and rumors start spreading on why exactly they broke up. And in many cases, some people tell them exactly why they broke up. But that's not enough for the YouTube audience. They always have to have more. They always need to have more reasons for the exact specific reasons of why they broke up. Like, being transparent, being honest with reasons why they broke up is never good enough. It's always the rumors, the gossip. It starts with people announcing that they're breaking up over social media. Which is one of the main deterrents of why it's so toxic, is because I believe relationships need to be between two people. You can say, hey, I'm in a relationship. You can show somebody off in a video. But if you're constantly publicizing personal information and fighting over social media, and you're letting hundreds of thousands of people see that, it's really unhealthy for you and your significant other. It's extremely unhealthy. In fact, you go to any fucking therapist and they're going to tell you the exact same thing I'm telling you, that it's very unhealthy to do that type of stuff. And in the same way, you know, YouTube celebrities, people with big channels who publicize their relationships and that sort of stuff, they're becoming on a scale of almost Hollywood stars. And I hate seeing relationships end and then having to see both audiences upload a video on why they broke up. You as a content creator don't owe your goddamn audience reasons for why you broke up. In fact, my opinion, this is just my opinion, of why people make videos saying, we broke up, is because it is one of the #1 view grabbers on YouTube. And it's a genius idea, personally, is to make a breakup video because you get so much money and you get so many views from doing that. And again, you're entitled to do whatever the fuck you want with your YouTube channel. I'm simply just relating my opinion on the whole debacle because I constantly see people who publicize their relationships way more than they should, and it always ends up breaking up, almost guaranteed. I know very few YouTubers who have been in a relationship then fucking get married and are still together here on YouTube. I think PewDiePie is the only person who actually hasn't really broken up with their relationship yet, and seem to be, both of those couples seem to, a very cute couple by the way, seem to be very strong and know exactly what they're doing on YouTube. Really don't see them ever lash out at each other, so I don't really have an issue with that. They seem to keep their private lives pretty personal, which to me is awesome. I respect people who can do that shit. Rather than making your personal lives public so you can garner so much attention and publicize over it and make tons of money off of it. I just want to talk about that because it's really important. People wonder why people who I've dated in the past, I've never really shown them off in videos. It's because typically I like to date people who don't want to be in front of a goddamn camera all the time. I prefer people who don't want to be in front of a camera, who don't want to be the center of attention, because I find that I can trust people a lot more when they don't want to be in my videos. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think I'm wrong on people publicizing their relationships and then making breakup videos? Do you think that's okay? Do you think that's a healthy thing for relationships? I want to know if someone actually has an argument for why that could possibly be healthy. Because I don't believe it is. And I believe that if you're spending significant time and months and years with somebody else, those two people have a right to privacy. A lot of the times they don't want to have a right to privacy because they're too stupid and too greedy with the amount of views and amount of drama it can pull into their relationship, thus affecting them on a psychological level that they don't even realize is actually affecting them. In the case of Onision and Lainey, Lainey's adopted Onision's personality traits. He publicizes all of his fucking problems and personal relationships issues to the internet. And then when they got married, now look at Lainey. She does the exact same quality, bad, negative quality that Onision does. And I just find it toxic. I find it toxic for two people, especially if you have children. That's all I'm going to say. Probably enough people are going to hate me from this because they're saying, you shouldn't have to, why are you even talking about this? I'm talking about it because I don't like it and it's my goddamn channel and I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. Have a great rest of your day, folks.